The fake news is creating violence.
And that's something that Nazi Germany would have done and did do.
Called fake news.
Welcome to the Fake News Awards, which are totally real, unlike the really fake news, which is fake and not real.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news.
You are fake news.
With all this talk about fake news, do we really know what fake news is? Scholars prefer to call it misinformation and disinformation. And in our current media environment, the spread of mis and disinformation is rampant. Why is this? Because everyone is sharing news and information via social media networks like Facebook and Twitter, information is spread in an entirely different way from a pre-social media world. Things are shared on Twitter and Facebook and retweeted, reposted, liked, and shared very, very rapidly, before anyone can even fact-check the information that is circulating. What can we do to combat mis and disinformation? The answer could be through media literacy. What is media literacy? Today, the term has a very robust and wide-reaching definition. According to the Center for Media Literacy is a 21st century approach to education. It provides framework to access, analyze, evaluate, create, and participate with messages in a variety of forms, from print to video to the internet. Media literacy builds an understanding of the role of media in society, as well as essential skills of inquiry and self-expression necessary for citizens of a democracy. This basically means that media literacy allows people to know how to make sense of the information that is delivered to them via media. Because so many children and young adults today grew up with media and technology, you would think that most of us, besides older generations, are media literate. But this isn't always the case. Because media literacy isn't usually integrated into school curriculum, it can be easy for consumers of media to be unable to discern what is real and what isn't. Again, this also has to do with our current media environment. It's hard to discern what is real and what isn't, and what sources are the most trustworthy. Fake news articles can look very, very real, and it's easy to assume that all information is accurate than to search for inconsistencies and inaccuracies. According to a survey I conducted with my peers last year for my Culture of the News class, 43.4% of respondents had no fact-checking habits. This is why the conversation of media literacy is becoming important. If we can't stop the spread of mis and disinformation on the internet, we need to make people aware of it and able to know what it looks like. Last year, professors from Simmons University organized a symposium on the topic of mis and disinformation called No News. No News, which was held at Simmons University in April 2018, brought together journalists, librarians, media professionals, and allied professionals to talk about the spread of mis and disinformation online, and allowed attendees to discuss solutions to this problem. Professor Rachel Gansborskin of Simmons Communications Department was one of the organizers and lead investigators of the event.
A lot of the things that I was thinking about, that journalists are thinking about, were also questions going on in the field of library and information sciences. And so we were looking for a way to work together, and there was fake news and everyone was talking about it, and then it became this slippery, meaningless term. And we were thinking about the ways that you have a lot of these questions going on in multiple fields, but no cross-fertilization. So the idea behind the symposium was to bring together professionals from these different spheres and share information, share the conceptions that we have of the challenge, and figure out what resources we could bring to each other.
So what is being done to teach media literacy? The Center for Media Literacy and the Digital Resource Center are great examples of organizations who are dedicated to researching and creating curriculum based on developing media literacy. Both sites offer teacher and student resources for teaching and learning how to interact with media. Having attended the No News Symposium myself, I was inspired to challenge myself to create something that would help students with media literacy. For an independent study this semester, I'm working with 2 peers to create an outline for a video game that would help students learn how to vet sources.
We really do need to be teaching young people, but really everyone, how to critically assess the media we're consuming, because we don't have the gatekeepers we used to, and we can no longer afford to outsource that responsibility to some editor somewhere. It is critically important that every citizen learn how to assess the information they see.